Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Ramika's Diary. Today we're going to be seeing some grammar in CBSE Class 7, Chapter 14, the preposition. So let's get into the video. So first, let's see what is a preposition. A preposition is a word that shows the relationship between a noun or pronoun and another word in the sentence. So preposition is a word and it shows a relationship between a noun or pronoun and another word in that sentence. It often indicates direction, place, time, or manner. So it often indicates direction, place, time, or manner. Now let's see the correct uses of some prepositions. Let's see the first preposition, for. It's used for price. Example, I got a cow for 6 goats. So it's like the price of a cow. So the price of a cow is 6 goats. So I got a cow for 6 goats. I bought this pen for 10 rupees. So it's the price. I bought this pen for 10 rupees. Next, it's used for purpose. Examples, we go to school for education. So why do we go to school? We go to school for education. That's a purpose. The for is used for the purpose of something. Second example, he went for a walk. Where did he go? He went for a walk. That's the purpose of he going. Next, suitability. Examples, walking is good for health. Overwork is bad for health. So it's also used when there's suitability. Next, preparation. Examples, I am preparing for the exam. She is getting ready for office. So for is also used for the preparation of something, like I'm preparing for the exam and she's getting ready for office. So like she's preparing herself ready for office. Next, cause. Examples, Hema is praised for her beauty. I studied for the exam. So like the cause, Hema is praised. Why is she praised? For her beauty. So like that's the cause. I studied for the exam. So like why did I study? I studied for the exam. So here this is the cause, exam, like for the exam. So for is also used for the causes. Next, hope or wish. So examples, let us hope for the best. We wish for peace. So like for is also used for hope or wish. So like hope or wish. It's also used in those places. Next, distance. Example, the forest stretched for miles. So here they're talking about distance, like the forest stretched for miles. So for is also used there. Next, the desert was spread for miles. So here they're also talking about distance. So also here for is used. So like here miles is the distance. Also here miles is the distance. Next, cure. Examples. Is there any remedy for this? There is no cure for cancer. So for is also used when they're talking about cure in the sentence. Next, definite length of time. So like period of time. It's also used there. Examples, for 4 days or months or years or a long time or several days or so many days or a short time or a little while or how long, etc. So it is also used in these places. I have lived in this house for 2 years. So we also use for. So when they're talking about period of time, like definite length of time. Let's see the next example. For how long had he been absent from duty? So that's also, they're talking about the period of time, like how long was he absent? Like how long was he gone from the duty? So here they're also talking about period of time. So for is also used in this place. Next, by. Let's see the first correct use. Methods or means. Example, I sent my letters by post. So this is my method that I sent my letters by post. Next, an agent in passive voice. So by is also an agent in passive voice. Example, the snake was killed by me. Next, time. So when it talks about time, example, I can do this work by 4 p.m. So by is also used there. Next, swearing. Example, I swear by God. So by is also used in this place. Next, manner. Example, I caught him by the ear. So this is a manner and it's also used in manner. Next, space. So like sit by me. So space. Next, measure, standard, amount. Example, milk is sold by the liter. So by is also used in those places when it talk about measure, standard, or amount. So here, liter is standard because like it's a standard unit, so it's standard. So by is also used in these places. Next, from. To show the point of time in all tenses. So like to show point of time in all sentences. Example, he works in the office from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. So like from is also used in here, like to show like the point of time. So what do they mean by the point of time? It's like 7 a.m. is the starting point. Like that's the time when he start working at his office. And this is the end point of the time when he stop working at his office. So from is also used in the point of time in all tenses, like in all tenses. So from is also used in this place. Next, showing cause or reason. Next, showing cause or reason. Example, she is suffering from fever. So like here, it's showing the cause. Like she is suffering from fever. Like why is she suffering? She is suffering from fever. So like the fever is the cause in here. Next, to indicate place. So like to indicate place. Example, the child fell from the roof. So here it's indicating the place. Like from where did the child fall? The child fell from the roof. Next, to indicate point. Example, I read from page 20 to page 30. So like this is the starting point, this is the end point. As we saw before, it showed the time, it showed the point of time. Here it's indicating like just a point. Like from page 20, that's the starting point, to page 30, that's the end point. Next, to indicate absence. Example, he stayed away from the class. So that means he's not in the class. That's the absence. So, and here, from is indicating the absence of him not being in the class. Next, to indicate separation. Example, he is safe from danger. So here is indicating the separation of him not being with the danger anymore. Like he's safe now. Next, to indicate source. Example, tea comes from Assam. So here it also indicates the source. Here the source is T. So T, it's the source, and it comes from Assam. So from is also used in this place. Let's move on to in. With big cities, districts, states, and countries. Example, he lives in Mumbai, in Maharashtra, in India. So in is used with the big cities, districts, states, and countries. So like Mumbai is the city, Maharashtra is the state, and India is the country. So in is also used in these places. Next, to indicate some places. Example, in office, in house, in field, in river, etc. So it is also used to indicate some places like these places. Next, to indicate time. Example, he came back in the evening, morning, a few minutes, an hour's time. So it is also used in indicating the time in. Next, to indicate direction. Example, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So here, the east and the west are the directions. So it is also used to indicate the directions. Like the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Next, to indicate rest inside and motion inside. Example, the sick is in the bed. She was walking in the garden. So like to indicate rest inside and motion inside. Next, to indicate state or condition and occupation. Example, he went in a hurry. So this is a state. He is in army. This is an occupation. So it is also used to indicate state or condition and occupation. Fifth, at. Smaller locations. So like smaller locations. Example, towns, villages, colonies. So it is also used with smaller locations like towns, villages, and colonies. Example, he lives at Aurangabad. So here, at is used to indicate smaller locations. Next, specific points. Example, at bridge, at bus stop, at home. So like specific points. Next, to indicate point of time. To indicate point of time. So specifically, this refers to times of day, like at night, at noon, at daybreak, etc. So like to indicate point of time, it specifically refers to times of day, like at night, at noon, at daybreak, etc. Let's see the examples. The match will start at 10 a.m. or noon. So like the match will start at 10 a.m., the match will start at noon. So I go to the temple at daybreak. I go to the temple at dawn. I go to the temple at night. So at is also used to indicate point of time. Next, to indicate age, state, or condition. Example, he left school at 16. They are at war. She is at my service. So here, at is used to indicate the age, 16. Here, it's used to indicate state, and here it is also used to indicate the state. Next, to indicate rates, prices, values, results. Examples: he got the watch at a high price. She drove the car at full speed. He sold his car at a loss. The horse went at full speed. So here, at is used for the prices. This one is for the rates. These two are for the values. These two are the results. Next, to indicate direction, position, intelligence, and fixed festivals. Example: he threw a stone at the dog. So this is a position, like at the dog. Manish is good at English. So this is intelligence. People wear new clothes on Diwali. So this is fixed festivals. Sixth one, on. To indicate specific day and date. Part of certain days and dates. Used for days of the week, specific dates, and parts of days. Example: on Christmas evening. So like to indicate specific day and dates. So like part of certain days and dates. So like if you see this example, it's part of a certain day. On Christmas. On Christmas, I'm only referring to a part of the Christmas day. So on Christmas evening. Examples: we shall go to Delhi on Sunday morning or evening or afternoon. India became free on 15th August 1947. So this one refers to a part of certain day. This one refers to specific date, like just the specific day. So like this one. So here the specific date is 15th August 1947. So on is also used in these places. Next, to denote the means or method of traveling. Used for modes of transportation where you are on top of and in contact with the means of travel. Examples: he traveled on horseback, foot, a cycle, a camel. So these are all the means of transport. So on is also used in this place. Next, to denote open spaces, used when referring to a surface or area. So like to denote open space, it is used when referring to a surface or area. Example: he works on a rubber plantation, platform, a farm, an estate. So like here it's referring to a surface or area, like an estate is an area, a farm is an area, platform is a surface, and rubber plantation is a surface. Next, to indicate contact with things at rest, nearness, support, concern. So used when something is physically on top of or in contact with another object. So like it's used when something is physically on top of or in contact with another object. Let's see the examples. The book is on the table. So here the book is on top of the table. So like on top of something. So on is also used here. My house is on the main road. The cow feeds on grass. There is a mat on the floor. Climbers grow on trees. I have written a book on translation. Let's see the seventh one. Since. To indicate a point of time. So like to indicate a point of time. It's used to show the starting point of an action or state that continues to the present. So like it is used to show like the starting point of an action or the state that still continues to the present. Examples: he has been ill since Tuesday, or you could say June or 28th, or May or 2020. Next, I have not seen him since morning or evening or last Wednesday. Next, with perfect and perfect continuous tenses, used to show the duration of an action or state that started in the past and continues to the present. Examples: I have not met him since Tuesday or July. They have been playing football since 10 a.m. or 4 o'clock. So like it is also used to show the duration of an action or the action that started in the past and still continues to the present. 8. Over, above, under, below. Over. It indicates something higher in the position or space, often with a sense of covering. So like higher in the position or space, often with a sense of covering. Example: the sky is over our heads. So like it's higher in position, so over is used here. Next, above shows a higher position but with a sense of rest or being stationary. Example: his head is above water. So above is used to show a higher position but with a sense of rest or being stationary. Next, under, the opposite of over. So like under is the opposite of over, indicating a lower position or being covered by something. So like when we saw over, it was the higher in position, but under is the opposite. So that means it indicates a lower position or being covered by something. Example: he is under the vice principal. So under is also used in here. Next, below, the opposite of above. So we saw above shows a higher position but with a sense of rest or being stationary. So below is the opposite of above. So it indicates a lower position but with a sense of rest or stationary. Example: he is below me in the class. 9th, between or among. Between used when referring to two people, places, or things. Example: he divided his property between his two sons. So between is used when referring to two people, two places, or two things. Next, among. Used when referring to more than two people, more than two places, or more than two things. Example: the boys quarreled among themselves. 10th, beside, besides. So beside means by the side of or next to. Example: she was sitting beside her mother. So like beside means by the side of or next to. So like she's sitting next to me. That's what it means in the sentence. Like she was sitting next to her mother. So that's what beside means. She was sitting beside her mother. Next, besides means in addition to or apart from. So like don't get confused between beside and besides. Don't think it's the same meaning, but it's not the same meaning. This means like next to or by the side of, but this means in addition to or apart from. Example: besides being punished, he was fined. Meaning apart from being punished, he was fined. Next, 11th one. To, into, upon. So to, it indicates the direction towards a place or object. Example, he ran to the post office. Next, into, indicates movement from outside to inside a place. Example, the goat jumped into the well. So, to indicates the direction towards a place or object. So, like he ran to the post office. So, it indicated the direction towards the place. So, here the place is the post office. Next, into. It indicates movement from outside to inside a place. So, like from outside to inside the place. Example, the goat jumped into the well. So, like let's say this is the well, and then the goat jumped into the well. So, like from the outside to the inside. Next, upon indicates movement onto a surface or object, often with force. So, like upon means it indicates movement onto a surface or object, often with force. Example, the wolf sprang upon the sheep. So the wolf sprang onto the sheep. So here sheep is the object and the wolf sprang upon the sheep. So like onto the sheep. Next, 12th one, with, by. With, used to indicate the instrument or tool used to perform an action. Example, Ravinder killed the lion with a sword. So, it's like used to indicate the instrument or tool used to perform an action. Here, Ravinder used the sword to perform the action which is killed in the sentence. So, with is also used in here. So, like Ravinder killed the lion with a sword. Next, by. Used to indicate the agent who performs an action, especially in passive voice sentences. So, like it is used to indicate the agent that performs an action, especially in passive voice sentences. Example, the lion was killed by Ravinder. So here, by is used. Here, Ravinder is the agent that performs an action which is killing the lion. So, and it's in the passive voice. So, the lion was killed by Ravinder. So, by is also used here. Next, 13th one, after, behind. So, it refers to time, order, or position following something else. Example, the cat ran after the rat. So, after, it refers to time, order, or position following something else. Example, the cat ran after the rat. So, like the cat was following the rat. So, after is also used in here. Behind. It refers to a position at the back of something. So, like the position at the back of something. Example, the tree is behind the house. So, like the house and the tree is behind that house. So, like behind. Meaning, it refers to a position that's at the back of something. Next, 14th one, till, by. Till means up to a certain time. So, till means up to a certain time. So, like that's the limit, like no more, only up to that. Example, usually Paneet keeps awake till 12 o'clock. So that means usually Paneet keeps awake till 12 o'clock, like till 12 o'clock, no more than that. So like up to that time. Next, by. means not later than a certain time. Example, I shall finish this homework by Friday. So like by means like not later than a certain time. So it's like saying that I'm going to finish my homework by Friday, but not later than that. Let's move on to the worksheet. Exercise 1. In or at. So you have to fill the following sentences with in or at. I live dash Delhi. So in is used with big cities, districts, states, and countries. So we're gonna fill it in with in. So let me fill it in. In. Next, she is studying dash a university. So she's studying at a university. Next, the meeting will be held dash the conference room. So in the conference room. I will be there dash 10 minutes. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I'll be there at 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes. Next, the train arrived at the station. He is dash the office right now. So at. My parents live dash a small village. In a small village. The cat is sleeping in the bed. Next, exercise 2. Choose the best preposition from the word bank to complete each sentence. So like there's a word bank given, you have to fill in the blanks using the words in the word bank. So let's read the first question. The bird flew dash the trees. So it will be the bird flew above the trees. So let me cross it out. Above. Next, the temperature is dash freezing. So it'll be the temperature is below freezing. Next, divide the sweets dash the 3 children. Remember, we should not put between here because between is only for 2 people or 2 things. But among is for more than 2 people or more than 2 things. So let me cross out below and among. Next, he sat dash me on the bench. So like beside me. So let me cross it out. Next, dash playing cricket. He also enjoys football. So I'm going to put besides. So it means like apart from playing cricket, he also enjoys football. So besides will be the correct word. Next, he went dash the market to buy groceries. So he went to the market to buy groceries. Next, the cat jumped dash the table. So it will be on to. So I'm going to cross it off. So note, on to emphasize the movement towards the surface. So like let's say this is the table and the cat jumps onto the table. So like emphasizes the movement towards the surface. So like here the surface is the tabletop. So like onto the table. Next, the painting was done dash a famous artist. So the painting was done by a famous artist. So by. Next, they ran dash the thief. So they ran dash the thief. So it's like, remember we saw we have to use after when it's like this thing is following something else. So here they are running after the thief. So whenever it's like chasing something, following something, running after something, then we use after in there. Next, he has been living here dash 2010. So like since 2010. So I'm gonna cross since out. So I gave these like extra words to like confuse you. So it'll be like a good challenge for you to pick the correct words. And friends, try this at home with me, so it'll be like an extra practice. So this is the worksheet. Let's have a slow scroll down. Okay friends, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Bye!